Hello everyone, this is Joseph Ferre, and today I want to introduce you an amazing library that I just discovered, and it is called Parlant. So basically, right now the market is flooded with a lot of chatbots and AI-powered large language models that try to simplify our work and try to interact with our users and customers. But usually the most complex part is still not yet well done, and it is like the customization of these chatbots to our specific needs, and especially the constraints of answers of these chatbots to our specific needs. So basically Parlant, this new library, it's trying to assess this by just generating a really easy way to implement constraints and simplify the way we create these chatbots. And it's really good. I was surprised with the results, and now I'm gonna just make a little introduction. I will give some examples of how to create a chatbot for my own newsletter to interact with the users of my newsletter. And you will see that with just a few lines of code, you can generate a really good chatbot that interacts and that has all the features that we want. So just let's go for it. All right, so now let's get started using Parlant. And the first thing we gotta do whenever we are starting with a new library is just go and check its documentation. So just go to Google and look for Parlant here, and you will see the first option. And here now we are in the documentation of the Parlant library. And as you know, Parlant basically allows us to craft AI-powered chatbots, but in this case, the main advantage or the most important feature it has is that it allows to constrain the whole experience in order to let the chatbot know exactly what to answer to the users. Okay, we will see more about this in a second. So the first thing is for installing, as you know, in Python, we just need to execute the pip install Parlant. We will do it in a second. But then for building any agent, you will see we just need a few lines of code, okay, which is quite impressive. So let's go to Visual Code. And here I will go through 3 different scripts, adding more complexity basically. This agent basic one is basically the exact same code that we can obtain from the documentation just to get started, but a little bit personalized for my case. And the first thing is just going to your terminal and install the Parlant library. Okay, in my case, I have already installed. Make sure you're installing it in the right virtual environment. And then we're gonna just load the libraries. In this case, we're gonna import the asyncio and the Parlant and .env. .env basically allows us to load and store safely API keys. In order to use Parlant, we need to have an active OpenAI API key. And in case you don't know how it works, basically you need a file in your folder that is called .env, and here you need to define the OpenAI API key, that it's gonna be here. And if you want to choose a specific GPT model, you can just define it here as well, the Parlant OpenAI model. Now I'm just gonna comment this, and we can go back. So now that we have everything ready, we just need to define the agent itself, and you see this is just 5 lines of code. So we define like a main function, and in this case we define the agent object, and we give it a name, Databytes Assistant, and a description. You're a friendly assistant that helps users navigate and get started with the Databytes.tech newsletter. For those of you who know me, you know I have a newsletter that is about data science and artificial intelligence. So basically I want to create a chatbot that interacts with the new users, the new readers that arrive to my newsletter, and help them navigate it. And then we just need to execute the agent. So now I'm just gonna run this Python script, and now in my local host I have the interface ready to use this sandbox. So the first thing I'm going to do is just generate a new conversation, and I'm going to send hello here, and the chatbot is going to answer me right away. Okay, hello, and now it's going to introduce itself. Welcome to Databytes. How can I help you get started with our newsletter today? Okay, so basically I already gave it like a name. Here you can see the name, and I give it a description, so it already knows what it is here to do. So what can you help me with? And you will see that it knows its paper basically. I can help you subscribe to the Database newsletter, explain what kind of content you receive, guide you through past issues, etc. Perfect. Okay, so now we generated the most simple agent. So now let's add a little bit more of complication. So basically, the main idea is that now I have a simple agent, but I want to constrain it to my specific use case, right? So the first thing that Parlant allows us is to give this agent a glossary. A glossary basically means that I can just give certain words that have a special meaning in my use case. All right. So for instance, the newsletter, it has an author, it has a writer. In this case, it is me, but GPT doesn't know, of course. So I can just define as a new term author. I can give some synonyms because of course the users can use author or can use writer or owner. And I will give the answer description is me, Josep Farré. Okay. Another term, for instance, the cheat sheet. Okay, I have a lot of cheat sheets in my newsletter that are like visual content, just to simplify concepts, some synonyms, visual helper, diagram, and then a description. Database puts a lot of value into visual learning. So basically, I can define multiple terms and I can give some explanation or description to the model so it knows what to answer. Okay, so now that I still have my simple agent here, I can ask who is the owner of Database, okay? And basically the model want no. Let me find that information for you. Here is usually where the model hallucinates. Database is run by a team passionate about data, technology, and sharing. Okay, so now let's execute the second script, okay? The main structure is exactly the same. We have here loading the libraries and the API keys, and here we have some additional lines of code that I will explain. Here we have the glossary, then we have a couple more, and we end up defining the agent, adding these new features that we added, and executing. All right, so now I will have I will need to refresh this page. I will create a new conversation, hello, and I will ask right away for who's the owner of the newsletter. Who is the owner of the newsletter? And now it's gonna answer me, and it should answer correctly because I've defined as a term owner my name, myself. The owner of Database newsletter is Josep Ferrer. So as you see, basically with this glossary feature, we can just constrain and give more context about specific terms that I want to use. All right, let's go for the next one. We can just define a journey. A journey basically means that we know there will be some kind of interaction with the user, and I want to tell the chatbot how to behave exactly. So in this case, I define a create subscribing journey, and I call it subscribe to database.tech, and the conditions are that the user wants to subscribe to the newsletter, and the description is that it guides the user through subscribing to the newsletter. Okay, and here I see three different cases. So the first thing is that the model needs to ask the user if it already subscribed. Second, there's two options. The user is already subscribed, so then we just need to confirm the mail. And the third one is that the user is not subscribed, and then I want the model to ask to visit database.tech and subscribe via the mail. And finally, this journey finishes when the user confirms the subscription. So basically, I already anticipate that most users will ask how to get subscribed to this newsletter. So I want the model to just behave in this specific manner. Of course, this is a really simple journey. We could make it more complicated. This is just for showing purposes. But now, let's say, how can I get these issues directly in my inbox? All right, and let me find that information for you. Okay, now it's thinking. Just to check, are you already subscribed to Database newsletter? So no, I'm not subscribed. Okay, and now the model should guide me to go to the official webpage and just sign up with my mail. All right. Great, to start receiving data validation in your inbox, just head over to databots.tech. That's perfect. Thanks, I've done it. All right, so now I've confirmed, and now it is gonna end the journey. And it's gonna tell me to check my mails. As you see, it's really, really easy. Awesome, could you please confirm that the email address you used to subscribe? Okay, so the third thing I want to add is a guideline. So basically a guideline is a way to handle a specific situation. Okay, I know that some users will want to unsubscribe, and that's something that we need to handle. So basically I'm telling the action. First, try to encourage them to stay subscribed by highlighting the newsletters, but also tell them that if they want to unsubscribe, they can go to the mail, to one of the latest mails they've received, and just click on the unsubscribe button. So here, if I said I want to unsubscribe, it will tell me exactly this. It will tell me first, okay, oh, I see, and then it will tell me what I just define the action I just defined the chatbot to do. Before you go, just a quick note: Databyte is packed with engaging visuals, stuff, and etc. And then, if you still want to unsubscribe, just open any recent Databyte's email and click to unsubscribe button. So as you can see, with less than 100 lines, we defined a really constrained chatbot that helps my users and that is personalized in my specific use case. Okay, so basically Parlant makes it super easy to create these kind of chatbots and streamlines the whole process. And just to add all these features in the original main function, I just add the different functions that I've defined. All right. But there's still one thing missing, and it is, just imagine I am a user and I want to get started with database. So I would ask the model, are there any good issues about database you would recommend to me? All right. And now it's the moment that the model will hallucinate, because it doesn't know, of course. So there's a third step that we can go. Absolutely, Databytes often features issues focused on data visualization. This is a generic answer, but then, yeah, so basically it's just giving a generic answer. Some of the times it just gives some answers that are actually fake because it just makes up some issues. So now what I will do is just give a tool to this agent in order to be able to get my issues. So I generated a JSON that contains all the issues that have been published to Databytes, with a title, the title of the issue, the URL, and some description. All right. So the third script, the Databytes Assistant Retriever, basically is exactly the same as the second one, as the Databytes Assistant, but I've just added a new section that first loads this JSON file. It generates a vector database, and it generates some functions to get the most aligned issues or topics to the question that the user is making. And then I simply define this tool as search Databytes here, and it gives the agent the ability to just call this function, the top key function that it is here, in order to be able to call this vector database. All right, and I added a couple guidelines more just to give it more context about this. So basically, the customer asks a question about data, AI analytics, or SQL. Call the search Databytes tool with the customer's question, and then just answer whatever it returns you. So I'm just gonna execute this last script. All right. So now I can just go. I will reload. And here in a new conversation, hello. All right, now it's going to introduce itself, and now I want to ask, could you recommend me some issues of database? All right, so now as it has information, it is going to fetch this data and just return accurate information about the issues in my Databytes newsletter. Okay, now it's fetching the data, so we can see here. Here are a couple of Databytes issues focused on database that you might enjoy, and actually now it's answered correctly. This one with this title explores how visual representation helps us make sense of data and communicate insights, and why charts speak louder. Okay, and it actually adds the URL. We can open it here, and you can see this is actually a database, and this is one of the issues of my newsletter. All right, so you can see that just under 200 lines of code, and actually way less because I have a lot of comments here, we just created a really advanced chatbot with a lot of capabilities, and most important, really personalized to my use case. So actually this is what Parlant allows you to do, just to generate a chatbot that really helps your users or customers, and that really adapts to your specific situation. So just go discover it, and of course it has way many more features than just the ones that I've just added. You can just go play yourself in the documentation. So thank you so much for those of you who stayed until the end, and I hope this was useful.